Ultimately, we develop AI-powered command and control systems to power the most critical decision-making in the most complex domains. That's airline operations, air traffic management, military logistics. Ultimately, our customers all share a common problem, which is they find themselves increasingly operate in a uncertain, very dynamic world. The operating domain is changing rapidly. And what we help them with is to predict and simulate the operating domain. No matter if that is several hours out, several days, or several weeks out, flag potential issues, and then help them recover from situations that are not favorable to their operation. And that is really where AI is playing a significant role, given what is possible now with the latest models. It can shift these organizations from just looking at data displays that show them where the planes are or where the weather is, to a world where you can see, hey, this is the future state of my operations. This is where my flights are going to be. This is where my cargo is going to be. And this is how my operation is going to be impacted downstream. So you can be more proactive in how you run the entire organization. And that is absolutely critical in these complex operations, because it's so hard to recover once things are falling apart, because there's so many moving pieces.
What's some examples of how airlines might use this?
Yeah, there are really like three parts to it. The first part is you want to integrate as much geospatial data as possible that is describing the airspace, the operating domain. And so that data integration has become a lot easier because you can use technology like LLMs to actually fuse the data, right? So we're dealing with industries where you have so many data sources and all of them contradict each other. And so now how do you actually build a common picture of like what does the operating domain look like? And then again, you don't just want to relay that to the organization. Now where the power really comes in is that you can say, hey, this is what the future looks like. And you can kind of run a simulation, a look ahead, and you can visualize that to the human decision maker. And then you have really this like human machine teaming and pairing where the human decision maker, the operator, has information and intelligence that they never had before. Like the holy grail of intelligence is like understanding what the future looks like. And that is so much more important when the world is becoming uncertain. And I think a lot of the conversations that happen throughout this conference, I think if they all boil down to one thing and that we all agree on, is that the next 10, 20 years are probably looking a lot more uncertain than the last 20 years. No matter if that is more volatile weather or geopolitical tensions on the rise, tariffs, sanctions, trade, maybe not traveling as freely over the oceans and across the air as historically. And that's where predictability really is important. We're very much living in a world where mission critical infrastructure, we talked about this before coming on stage. You're based in Kiev, right? It's like we see it in Ukraine. Mission critical infrastructure, civilian infrastructure is part of a conflict, no matter if that conflict is hot or cold. And I think both from perspective in Europe, but very much here in the US, is that infrastructure is going to be targeted if we're seeing greater conflicts happening, and that already happens. And so how do you not only optimize that infrastructure, but also how do you protect it is absolutely critical, no matter if that is against sabotage or cyber, because if you lose key nodes, no matter if that's for the energy grid or for key logistical networks, you have these operations fall apart really quickly.
Yeah.
The environment that has been built specifically around Silicon Valley now, I would say that has been a bit more decentralized all over the US, really foster technology. Like I can speak for the companies that I've been founding and building. I would have not been able to do that in Europe at this speed, with the capital resources and then also the customer conviction. It always takes the first few partners and customers that have conviction to try something new, and that is just an ecosystem that I think it's the powerhouse of the US and behind the tech sector, and just doesn't exist in Europe to that extent.
Yeah.